And by the way, we don't want Russia or China going to Greenland, which if we don't take Greenland, you're going to have Russia or China as your next door neighbor. That's not going to happen. We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. But if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. Again, I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting, because we'll start shooting too. We will not approve any windmills in this country.
So, here's the situation. President Trump called all these big oil executives to a meeting, and there were reporters and questions being asked, as we're about to see. And it's absolutely hilarious. By the way, if you haven't seen this yet, I suggest you stay for the full video, because you will laugh nonstop. You'll be on the edge of your seat. But in this clip, President Trump is speaking directly to all the oil executives. And then he does the strangest thing. Just watch.
Any others that were not able to get in, I said if we had a ballroom, we'd have over 1,000 people. Everybody wanted. I never knew your industry was that big. I never knew you had that many people in your industry. But here we are. And if you look, come to think of it, well, I got to look at this myself.
No one else can notice it from where they're sitting. The cameras can't capture it completely.
Well, what did you have? Unusual time to look, but I figure we might as well do it. If the fake news would like to go back and take a look, you can, but you'll see a very big foundation that's moving. We're ahead of schedule in the ballroom and under budget. It's going to be, I don't think there'll be anything like it in the world.
Yeah. So, this is as funny and silly as it looks. It's a common trick President Trump uses to lighten the mood, remove tension from the room, and then move into questions and answers from reporters. And this will make you laugh, I promise.
President Zelensky said that he was watching with the rest of the world as you made this order to go and capture Nicolas Maduro. And he said, if that's how it works with dictators, then the United States knows what to do next. Sounds like he wants you to go and capture Vladimir Putin. Would you ever order a mission to go and capture Vladimir Putin?
Well, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I think we're going to have I've always had a great relationship with him. I'm very disappointed. I settled 8 wars. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack, or maybe one of the easier ones. And I don't know if you know, Peter, the last month, they lost 31,000 people, many of them Russian soldiers, and the Russian economy is doing poorly. I think we're going to end up getting it settled. I wish we could have done it quicker, because a lot of people are dying, and mostly soldiers. You know, they get hit in Kiev and they get hit a little bit here and there, and people are dying there too. But largely it's the soldier population. When you have 30,000, 31,000 soldiers dying in a period of a month, 27,000 the month before, 26,000 the month before that, that's bad.
So, of course, Zelensky wants President Trump to go and capture Vladimir Putin. He doesn't even get how crazy that would be. First, if it failed, it could start a nuclear war and we'd all die. And if it worked, I don't even know the global consequences of taking Putin. Yeah, America is tough. And yeah, America might pull it off, maybe. But Russia is a superpower, man. Russia is not to be messed with. And why do that when President Trump can at least try to negotiate with Putin? I mean, seriously, Zelensky. Leave it to Ukraine to mess everything up, huh?
Your conversations with these oil executives today, did you provide any security guarantees so that they can do their work safely in Venezuela? Yeah. And separately, Mr. President,
they will have those guarantees, yes.
And separately, Mr. President, I'm curious in terms of the future of Venezuela. Do you see Venezuela, now led by Delcy Rodriguez, as an ally of the U.S.? Is that the way that you view that country right now?
Well, right now they seem to be an ally, and I think it'll continue to be an ally, and we don't want to have Russia there. We don't want to have China there. And by the way, we don't want Russia or China going to Greenland, which if we don't take Greenland, you're going to have Russia or China as your next door neighbor. That's not going to happen.
I mean, that's a tricky one. From a world and military view, it makes sense if you're on Team USA to support American power. I have no problem admitting I back American power. I want America to stay the world's police, because I don't want to have to learn Russian. I don't want my kids to learn Russian or Mandarin or Cantonese or live under Sharia law because, let's be real, over time countries expand and shrink. The world map has always changed. That's not just history, it will keep happening. Not all countries are equal. Some will always try to grow, gain power, and dominate. I support America leading that because the alternative is living under Sharia law, Russia, or Xi Jinping and China. And of all those choices, which would you pick?
I have a question on Iran, but first, very quickly on Venezuela. How do you provide total security guarantees to these companies without putting U.S. boots on the ground?
The people of Venezuela are going to give you very good security. You know, the people, now I'm not talking even leadership, the people of Venezuela are going wild over this. They named a street after President Trump. What do? You attack a country and they name a street? That's never happened before. Although I heard that's also taking place in Iran. They named a street, the protesters. I just hope, just God bless them. I just hope the protesters in Iran are going to be safe because it's a very dangerous place right now. And again, I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting because we'll start shooting too. With your glasses, sir, go ahead, please. Hold it. Next to you. Yes, glasses. The gentleman with the glasses.
All right, thank you, Mr. President.
With those very big glasses, actually.
Yeah, Ferrari, actually. Mr. President, I have two questions. What do you want the European Union to do in Ukraine? The European leaders seem pretty divided on Ukraine. And then, if you can reiterate this straight message that you have to the Iranian leader, to Khomeini. The message that you have.
You're talking about Iran?
Oh, Iran, yeah.
What
the
do
first
I want
one is on
Iran
Europe.
to do?
I'm sorry?
Where are you from?
Italy.
Oh, nice place.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first question
So
is
what
on
are you
Europe.
asking about Iran for?
Well, if you can answer about Europe and what you think the Europeans should do on Ukraine, and then a message.
Well, look, Europe has been doing so much for Ukraine, but it hasn't been enough. And obviously that I would say that President Putin is not afraid of Europe. He's afraid of the United States of America, as led by me. There's no fear of Europe. Europe's fallen behind, and Europe. And JD said it very strongly. I don't know. He took a lot of heat, but I didn't give him any heat. Europe is a different place. Europe is changing. Europe has got to get its act together. I love Europe. I guess I came from Europe essentially. I have my roots are in Europe, but Europe is a different place. They have to get their act together. Now they have a great NATO leader, and they've gone up to 5% from 2% GDP. That's a big step. But they have to be very careful with their immigration policy, and they have to be because, I will just say, to be nice, that there are certain places in Europe that are very important that are no longer recognizable. I'm being very nice. I'm being very diplomatic when I say that. They are not recognizable, and they have to be careful on energy because they're putting windmills all over the place and losing a fortune. They're destroying their country. They're just destroying the beautiful landscapes, the beautiful everything. They're doing. And by the way, in case you people don't know, I'm not much of a windmill person. I can proudly say, Doug, that we have not approved one windmill since I've been in office, and we're going to keep it that way. My goal is to not let any windmill be built. They're losers. They lose money. They destroy your landscape. They kill your birds. They're all made in China. And all you have to do is, just about all of the windmills are made in China, the structures. All you have to do is say to China, how many windmill areas do you have in China? So far, they're not able to find any. They use coal and they use oil and gas and some nuclear, not much. But they don't have windmills. They make them and sell them to suckers like Europe and suckers like the United States before. They are the worst form of energy, the most expensive form of energy, and in 8 years they're rotted out anyway. Go take a look at Palm Springs, California, and take a look at what that looks like. It looks like a junkyard of steel. So we don't approve, and I've told my people, we will not approve windmills. Maybe we get forced to do something because some stupid person in the Biden administration agreed to do something years ago. We will not approve any windmills in this country.
I mean, that's a pretty bold move. Getting rid of windmills is something many people have strongly opposed. I kind of want to know your view on this. Are you for windmills? Are you against them? Tell me your reasons down below.
But I'm having a hard time seeing here. I see the American flag lapel pin. What is the other lapel pin on
Somebody
your jacket?
gave me this. You know what that is? That's called a happy Trump. And considering the fact that I'm never happy, I'm never satisfied, I will never be satisfied until we make America great again, but we're getting pretty close, I'll tell you what. This is called a happy Trump. Somebody gave it to me, I put it on.
Thank you. And the policy question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S. takeover?
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And I'm a man, and by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you, and they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger, there are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way.
President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. With a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't.
On the back end, while President Trump has been talking about Greenland and saying things like, whether they like it or not, we're going in, whether it's easy or hard, something will happen with Greenland. NATO is actually kind of panicking, woke NATO. Here's the funny part. About 50% or a bit more of NATO's power belongs to the United States. So if NATO tried to defend Greenland from the US, they would expose themselves to Russia, China, the rest of the world that doesn't like them, and the US. I don't think that will happen. I think Trump will successfully take Greenland in some way, and it will probably improve life there. They'll get better stores, hotels, services, and more jobs. The infrastructure will be upgraded, and the American military presence will likely grow. That's not the only place America is looking. Recently, America also mentioned Canada becoming the 51st state, which started a whole new debate among Canadians. Do they want Trump to take Canada? Should they resist? Canada isn't really fully sovereign anyway. As I said earlier, I have a strong bias. I'm pro-American power. I think it's great. I served in the Canadian military, worked closely with the U.S. military, and I'm very pro-America. Canada has joint bases with the U.S. near Greenland, but Trump wants more. There's already a big U.S. military presence in Greenland, but he wants it part of America. And I'm okay with that because bigger threats exist. Russia, China, Sharia law spreading in parts of the world, BRICS. If you're in the Western world, you should probably support the U.S., which means more American influence. I could be right, I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, if you liked this, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.